Yeah, well, here on April 20th, another beautiful day today. It got up to about 42. It's clear, clearish, and south wind. The snow is melting on the lakes a little bit. Today I saw the first couple bands of caribou coming through. I think this is the beginning of the migration. They're coming, I think they're going from west to east here. And I was making portages on these unnamed lakes this morning, and I saw a band of about 25, I counted. And then I made it out to Jarvis Lake, which is another one of these big lakes. And there I saw a band of, I counted up to 50. And in the distance, they look like salt and pepper. They're that color, kind of brownish, whitish dots. At first, the first 25 I saw, wondering what it was in the distance. It was my first sighting of them, and then they start moving, and then, but they're a very curious animal. They just cannot figure out what I am. I stopped for a while, took some pictures, watched them, and then I just moved on, and the wind was at my back, so it was blowing my scent into them, and they would move one way and then the other way. They kind of move like simultaneously, almost like a snake. They'll switch directions, and it's almost like a C or an S. They'll kind of weave real systematically like that. And then they keep coming closer and closer to me, and they were quite close, very unusual. They're that curious also with dog teams. They're afraid of wolves, of course, but with dogs, things stretched in line, something totally unusual like this, like something from outer space or something. They have this innate curiosity. But it was great seeing them today, and I think I'll probably be seeing more. The people on Black Lake have been waiting for this herd to pass through. I met a couple hunters 3 days ago, and they're going to be up in this area, I guess, pretty soon here. I also made a couple-mile portage over the tundra, and there's still a little bit of a few trees here and there. It's very stunted. I would say like 10% trees now, but it's not totally barren quite yet. But it's amazing with the intensity of the sun, the amount of land that's already being exposed to the sun. There's a lot of the gravel areas and stone areas are wide open already, and areas where you have a density of lichens and brush that's starting to open. You would think, these are we only had a couple of days here of 41, 42, and already the tundra is opening up. It doesn't say much for portaging over the tundra, though, because I had a little hard time moving around. In the ravines and so forth, there's deep snow, and the snow is drifted there, so there's still maneuverability there getting around. But I'm on big lakes again. I'm going to do my resupply tomorrow. A good friend of mine, David Olson, in fact, he was my first employee back when I ran my winter school in 1978. I hired him on, and we did an expedition together, our first real major expedition that both of us had been on in dog sledding in 1980. We did about a 600-mile trip from Churchill, Manitoba. We went up Hudson Bay, and then Chesterfield inland to Baker Lake, which is my destination. We ended there. And that was a coming of age for both of us, and we were going to do a Greenland expedition together, but 2 years later, about a year later, I found out it wasn't possible to do that in 1 year. And Dave then took on his own, and he moved out of that. He got a bush plane, and he moved to east end of Great Slave Lake, where he was married, just got married at that time to Kristen, and then they raised a couple girls there. I passed through there in 2004. And I think Will, my webmaster, showed some of these pictures. But this is a reunion for Dave and I. We haven't seen each other for about 14 years now. So he's coming in tomorrow, and I'll give more details about this resupply tomorrow. I'll do the whole talk tomorrow on the resupply. But so I'm sitting still here. Weather looks good for it. So over and out.